Ladies, if you're looking to Carl Jung for dating advice, that's like asking Freud if your ex still thinks about you. Newsflash, they're both dead, and neither cares. Oh, for God's sake, I spend my entire life studying the psyche, the archetypes, the unconscious, the damned collective mind of humanity, and somehow, in 2025, I'm reduced to a clickbait guru for women who want to know if the barista smiled because of their feminine energy or because he just farted and needed to cover it up. Let me break it to you. I'm Carl Jung. Not your dating coach, not your TikTok therapist, and definitely not the guy who's going to tell you if Chad, Brad, or Kyle secretly finds you captivating. Because if you're running to YouTube for confirmation of your attractiveness, guess what? You've already lost. You're literally outsourcing your self-esteem to a dead Swiss man who spent most of his time arguing with Freud and writing books so complicated that even philosophy majors use them as doorstoppers. But okay, let's play your little game. Let's pretend for 1 second that I, Carl Gustav Jung, am sitting here like, ladies, sign number 1 that you're attractive is, drumroll, men get nervous around you. Wow! Revolutionary, truly groundbreaking psychological insight. Centuries of human study, and we boiled it down to, he touched his neck, so he must want to marry you. No, darling, he touched his neck because he has eczema, or because he realized you're asking Jungian archetypes to validate your sex appeal. Let's be clear, men get nervous for many reasons. Taxes, erectile dysfunction, accidentally liking your Instagram story from 72 weeks ago. But sure, let's call it a sign you're irresistible. Why not? That's way sexier than he's just socially awkward. And the second sign? People look at you twice. Ladies, if the pinnacle of your self-worth is that someone looked at you, congratulations! You've cracked the code of existence. You're basically the chosen one from the Matrix. Except instead of dodging bullets, you're dodging eye contact and calling it proof of divine magnetism. Listen carefully. Being looked at twice doesn't mean you're Aphrodite reincarnated. It might mean you had spinach in your teeth, or they looked like your ex, or you remind them of the substitute teacher who gave them trauma in 8th grade. Humans look twice at weird shit all the time. Don't flatter yourself too much. But YouTube loves this. Sign number 3. You underestimate yourself, but constantly get compliments. Oh, how cute. You underestimate yourself because you've been trained by a culture that profits off your insecurity. And the compliment? That's just Steve from accounting trying to look down your shirt without HR noticing. But no, let's frame it like some mystical revelation. You are more attractive than you think. No shit, Sherlock. That's literally how insecurity works. It's like me telling you you're richer than you think if you ignore your bank account and only count Monopoly money. And this is where I, as a dead man, have to step in and say, ladies, please, stop dragging my name through the mud. I did not spend decades exploring dreams, myths, and symbols so I could end up as the guy quoted under a YouTube thumbnail with pink text saying, "Signs you're a goddess and don't even know it." Imagine Freud watching this. He'd laugh his cigar ash straight onto his couch. He'd be like, of course they believe Jung can tell them if they're hot. These are the same people who think horoscopes determine their career success. And for once, I'd have to agree with him. YouTube has basically turned me into a horoscope app for insecure millennials. Instead of, you're a Sagittarius, so Mercury is ruining your love life, it's, you're an enchantress archetype, so men get sweaty when you order a frappuccino. Please, this isn't psychology, it's BuzzFeed with a thesaurus. And don't even get me started on the 9th sign. Oh yes, the infamous most overlooked sign, as if the suspense is killing me. Spoiler, it's not overlooked, it's just stupid. Probably something like, when men disappear and ghost you, it's because they're intimidated. No!
Sometimes men disappear because they're playing Call of Duty until 3 a.m. and forgot you exist. Stop romanticizing rejection. So, here's the truth you didn't want. If you need YouTube to tell you you're attractive, you've already answered your own question. You don't need Carl Jung, Freud, or a 10-minute video with stock footage of women walking in slow motion. What you need is therapy, confidence, and maybe, just maybe, less screen time. But hey, don't click away yet, because in the next part, I'm going to roast every single one of these attraction signs like they're undercooked chicken at a frat barbecue. Stick around, because this is the roast you didn't know you needed. All right, let's dive into these so-called signs one by one, because apparently women need a dead man with a thick accent and unresolved daddy issues to confirm that men find them attractive. Sign 4. They seek you out for insignificant reasons. Translation: a guy asked you where the printer is and suddenly YouTube is telling you you're a goddess? Newsflash, sometimes people ask stupid questions because they're stupid, not because you're radiating irresistible cosmic energy. If men asking for help is a sign of attraction, then every IT help desk in America is basically a harem. Sign 5. Women criticize you without any real reason. Oh yes, the ultimate badge of honor. She rolled her eyes, so you must be too powerful for this mortal realm. No, maybe you were just being loud on speakerphone at Starbucks and she wanted to finish her audiobook in peace. But please, let's call it jealousy. It sounds way sexier. Because nothing boosts self-esteem like pretending every side eye is just people being threatened by your overwhelming goddess energy. Sign 6. People smile at you without knowing you. Groundbreaking. Truly. Maybe they're smiling because they're polite. Maybe they're smiling because they just farted in the frozen food aisle and they're waiting for you to notice. But sure, let's canonize that awkward grin as divine proof that you're Aphrodite 2.0. Sign 7. Men in relationships look at you more than usual. Oh, how noble! Men glance at you even though they already have a girlfriend, and suddenly this is supposed to be a compliment? No, sweetheart, that's not attraction. That's poor impulse control, and the reason divorce lawyers drive Teslas. If your idea of validation is some dude with a wedding ring giving you a 3-second stare, congratulations, you're the human equivalent of a pop-up ad. Noticed, but not respected. And then sign 8. You receive attention on social media even without trying. Of course you do. Everyone does. It's called the algorithm. You could post a blurry photo of your breakfast bagel and at least 3 men named Mike will DM you with, "Hey, beautiful." It's not because you're glowing with authentic feminine energy. It's because men are bored and Instagram is free. Let's stop pretending every like is an ancient union symbol. Sometimes it's just thirst. Plain, simple, caveman thirst. Now, sign 9, the big dramatic one. Men get confused around you. This is YouTube gold. He texts you, he disappears, he comes back, and suddenly the explanation isn't that he's flaky, it's that he's overwhelmed by your radiant aura. No, darling, he's not overwhelmed. He's just a man-child juggling 3 women, 2 gaming consoles, and 1 unfinished therapy session. If a man pulls away, it doesn't mean you're too much woman for him. It usually means he found someone else or he ran out of data on his phone plan. Stop turning ghosting into poetry. Sign 10. You don't realize your own power. Ah, the classic motivational closer. You don't know how hot you are, and that's why you're hot. Which is hilarious because the only reason this video exists is to convince you that you don't know you're hot. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy wrapped in stock footage of women twirling their hair in slow motion. If you buy into this, you're basically paying rent to live inside an endless Instagram caption. Sign 11. Your absence is noticed more than your presence. Translation: when you leave the room, people say, "Oh, she left." Wow, truly magical. Next sign. When you sneeze, people say, "Bless you."
It must be archetypal feminine mystique. Or maybe people just notice when humans exist and then stop existing in the same room. Revolutionary. And finally, sign 12. Silence with you isn't uncomfortable. It's intense. Okay, let me get this straight. A guy sat there saying nothing, and instead of realizing he had no personality, you decided it was because your aura turned silence into poetry. No, he just didn't know what to say. If silence is intense, it's because both of you are overthinking whether to leave or kiss, not because the gods of the collective unconscious descended upon your coffee date. So let's recap. Nervous guys? Awkwardness. Second looks? Spinach in your teeth. Compliments? HR violations. Random smiles? Gas. Taken men staring? Trash behavior. Social media likes? Thirst. Men ghosting? Immaturity. Silence? Boredom. Ladies, none of this is Jungian psychology. This is horoscope-level garbage sprinkled with faux wisdom. The only archetype at play here is the eternal insecure girl, forever clicking on videos that promise validation in 12 easy steps. And the worst part? YouTube eats it up. Millions of views, thousands of comments saying, "Wow, I feel so seen." Seen by who? A faceless narrator reading a script written by some guy in sweatpants, recycling cliches? If that makes you feel empowered, then I guess my life's work really was for nothing. But stick around, because in part 3, we're going even deeper. I'm going to break down why this entire genre of signs you're attractive videos exists, why you keep clicking, and why it's basically fast food for your self-esteem. Cheap, greasy, and guaranteed to make you feel sick an hour later. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. These signs you're more attractive than you think videos exist for one reason only, because insecurity is the internet's most profitable product. YouTube doesn't care about Jung, it doesn't care about psychology, it cares about watch time. And nothing keeps you glued to a screen like dangling the promise that maybe, just maybe, you're hotter than you believe. It's the same trick fortune tellers use, except now it's HD, monetized, and sponsored by Squarespace. These videos are basically spiritual junk food, empty calories for your ego, and you keep eating them because they taste good for 3 minutes before the crash hits. You watch, you feel special, then 5 minutes later you're back to Googling, "Am I attractive or just tall?" That's the cycle, and the machine loves it. And let's not pretend the narrators of these videos are sages. They're freelancers with USB microphones spitting out scripts written by AI while stock footage of slow-motion hair flips plays in the background. Meanwhile, my name gets slapped on the title for credibility. Carl Jung said women are more attractive than they think? No, Carl Jung said, stop projecting your unprocessed trauma onto YouTube thumbnails. I never once wrote, if he stutters, it's because he wants you. That's not depth psychology, that's middle school gossip. But the reason you believe it is simple. It feels better than the truth. The truth is boring. The truth is messy. Sometimes men ignore you because they're busy. Sometimes they stare because they look like your cousin. Sometimes they ghost you because they're just assholes. There's no archetype, no collective unconscious, no cosmic feminine energy at play. It's just human nonsense. And human nonsense doesn't get clicks. But sugar-coated Jungian fairy tales, oh, those rack up millions. So let me give you the real signs you're attractive. Number 1, you exist. Somebody out there finds you hot. Congratulations, biology works. Number 2, if you can walk into a room without immediately making people scream and run away, you're already doing better than Quasimodo. Number 3, if anyone has ever tried to sleep with you, yes, even that drunk guy at karaoke night, you are, by definition, attractive. End of list. You don't need 12 mystical signals, you don't need Freud's approval, and you sure as hell don't need me, a ghost, validating your hair flip. Now here's the part where a normal YouTube channel would say, like, comment, and subscribe. But let's be real. If you've stuck around this long, you're either laughing, offended, or wondering if men touching their necks is still about you. Either way, hit the like button so the algorithm can keep feeding you this unholy blend of therapy and stand-up comedy. Subscribe if you want more roasts of videos that take themselves too seriously. And turn on notifications, because apparently you need Jung's ghost reminding you when to laugh at your own insecurity. So here's my final message. You don't need 12 signs to know you're attractive. You don't need me, Freud, astrology, TikTok, or YouTube validation. If you can look in the mirror and not immediately vomit, you're fine. If someone smiled at you in public and didn't call the cops, you're fine. And if you're watching this video right now, you're fine, because you're laughing at the absurdity of needing Carl Jung to tell you you're pretty. This has been the roast of Signs You're Attractive. I'm Carl Jung, I'm still dead, and I still don't care. See you in the next one.